feel about you. I love you.
Your voice is Sacramento.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
I appreciate you, but what you're doing is inspirational, man.
It's the Grant Napear Show every weekday, 3 to 6 on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Nothing like talking to Grant Napear, the original bad boy of radio.
That gets me pumped up.
Sac Town in the blood. And he's back with his own every day, 3 to 6 on his brand new home.
This has always been your show.
Welcome home, man.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580. Or go to elitepower.com.
Are you SAC Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
We've got great news for vehicle owners, regardless of what you drive, here at Downtown Ford Sacramento. For a limited time, bring your car or truck to Downtown Ford. We'll beat any major tire store's prices on a set of world-class Michelin or BF Goodrich tires. Then, we'll kick you down an $80 mail-in rebate. And that goes for any car or truck you drive. You'll get the best deal anywhere on Michelin or BF Goodrich tires installed by our top-notch service team, plus an $80 rebate. That's how we operate here at Downtown Ford. We've been selling Fords for over 100 years, and we've learned some things. Rule number 1 is to put the customer first. Treat customers right, and they come back. That's our formula, and it's why we were chosen as a Car Guru's top dealership for 2025. We are Downtown Ford Sacramento. Come see us on Howe Avenue, online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento.
Sacktown.
And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy. It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. Championship weekend. Who do you like? Who's going to the big show? We'll have our picks to wrap up the show in hour number 3. I can't wait for the NFC Championship game. Not that the Patriots and the Broncos don't interest me. But when I look at the Rams and the Seahawks, I've been trying to figure out what's going to happen in this game. And I got to tell you, what is very interesting to me, when I look at the 2 games that were played during the regular season, the game down in L.A. in which the Rams won 21-19, Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions in that game. You know what's amazing to me about that game? The Seahawks had 26 first downs. The Rams only had 12. The Seahawks had 414 yards of total offense. The Rams 249. Time of possession in that game, almost 38 minutes for the Seahawks and 22 for the Rams. I mean, when you look at that game, statistically, it was dominated by the Seahawks. And despite throwing 4 interceptions, Seattle had the ball and a long field goal attempt, no, and the Rams win 21-19. How odd is that? That statistically, the Seahawks dominated that game, and the reason why they lost was Sam Darnold was horrible. 29 of 44, 279, and 4 touchdowns. 4 interceptions and no touchdowns. Then you look at the game that was played a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. Thursday Night Football, the 18th of December. And I look at that game in which Seattle won in overtime 38-37. And then I look at the team stats, and it was the Rams, 26 first downs, 22 for Seattle. Not that that's a big disparity. 581 yards that's pretty impressive. 581, even though the game went to overtime for the Rams. I look at time of possession in that game, 40 minutes and 33 seconds for the Rams, 26 minutes for Seattle. And then I look at, once again, a real key statistic. Turnovers. Think about this. Seattle won that game 38-37, and they turned the ball over 3 times. Darnold with 2 interceptions, 1 fumble lost. The Rams had no turnovers. So, I'm looking at these 2 games. I'm looking at the 7 total turnovers to 1, because the Rams did have a turnover in that first game. And despite that turnover disparity, the Seahawks almost won in L.A. and did win at home 38-37. But when I look at that home game that was played with, 3 weeks to go in the regular season, the Rams didn't have Devontae Adams. The Seahawks were down 16 points in the fourth quarter with under 10 minutes left. They were driving. Darnold got picked off. Rams had the ball deep in their own territory. They were stopped on a 3-and-out. They punted. The Seahawks with a punt return for the touchdown. 2-point conversion, which was crazy beyond belief. Now they're within 8. They score again. Another 2-point conversion. And so I'm looking and I'm trying to figure out the game. I mean, Shaheed's punt return in the game in Seattle was the biggest play of the game because it really got the Seahawks right back. Yes, they had to make that 2-point conversion, which was crazy. they had to score again and get another 2-point conversion. I get all of that. But it was that punt return that changed that whole game around. So when I look at these two teams, if I'm going to look at this objectively, how is it that the Seattle Seahawks only lost 21-19 in LA and had a chance at the end of the game with the ball and had 4 interceptions, and then they did win a game at home where they had 3 turnovers and the Rams had none? So the reason why I'm going over all of these numbers is, to me, the eye test. I thought the Rams were clearly the better team when they last played in Seattle. And the statistics with time of possession and total yards also would back that up. But how is it that the Rams, despite the fact that they won the turnover margin +3, still lost that game? And I'm really trying to figure out who I'm going to pick. And as I sit here and talk to you at 3:07 on the 23rd of January on a Friday, I still don't know right now who I'm going to pick. And it really comes down to this. Do I believe and do I trust Sam Darnold enough in the biggest of spots to beat the Rams with arguably the best quarterback in the league in Matthew Stafford? That's really what it comes down to me. Because I know that both these defenses are good, although on that Thursday night game, there were a lot of points scored. But I don't see it being that way in the championship game. I think this is going to be more of the first type of a game where it's 21-19. But would have the game been 21-19 if Darnold wasn't horrible? And he was horrible. I mean, that was his worst game of the year. So I'm very intrigued by this matchup because, I mean, when you look at the two games and then you try to figure out who's going to win, how is it that you lose the turnover margin 7-1, almost win the game in LA, and then do win the game at home on that Thursday night? So this is really a chess match. And you talk about a Rams team who had to go to Carolina, so they got to go all the way across the country. They come back. Then you got to go on a 3.5-hour flight to Chicago. 4 hours plus coming back. You know, it's a lot of travel, too. You got to factor all of these things. Seattle had the week off. Then they had a fairly comfortable win when they beat San Francisco. And now here we are. So you got the NFC game and then the AFC with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback because Bo Nix, as we know, is out. You have a Patriots team with a young quarterback. You've got two teams that I don't think most people felt would be at this juncture of this. I thought that could be good, but I don't think anyone thought we'd be playing in the middle of January or the end of January with the Patriots and the Broncos with the winner going to the Super Bowl. What do you think about this game? Low scoring? Do you think this is going to be a game that's in the teens? Do you think it gets into the 20s? And what about Drake May? You know, when you look at New England last week, they were lucky to beat Houston. They won the game because C.J. Stroud was horrible. Horrible. So, boy, both these games, it's going to be interesting to see who Ryan picks, who I pick. I still, right now, am going back and forth on this. I really am. I'm going back and forth on this. What do you think? Who do you got winning? Give me a call or text the show at 916-779-0929. All right, NBA Kings are in Cleveland. They get ready to start a road trip that will take them to Detroit. Then the Knicks. Speaking of the Knicks, going to be very interesting to see whether the Kings can even get to New York, because their game Sunday is at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And when you look at the weather forecast for New York, they are expecting a brutal storm. They are expecting a whiteout. And they are calling it, I'll just read you the headline from the New York Post. Here's when the New York City region will be slammed with a catastrophic snowstorm and how much everyone will get. Said a dangerous winter storm is expected to slam the Big Apple with up to 16 inches of snow starting between 3 a.m. and 9 a.m. Sunday, with areas west and north of the city hardest hit. So if that's the case, the airports would be closed. All right? So they would not be able to get to New York on Sunday, which means they would have to stay, of all places, in Detroit for an extra day. Good luck on that one before getting into New York. It's not going to be easy to get to New York on Sunday via car, train, airplane. If that forecast is accurate, the airports will not be open. No way. No way. So they're going to be in Detroit, then the Knicks. They play Philly, Boston, Washington. All right? So speaking of the game tonight, and we look at this season and the disastrous season, and the trade deadline, by the way, is coming up right around the corner, right? Right around the corner. Who's going to start for Sacramento? And when are the Kings going to look like they are a professional franchise? Right? When's that going to happen? By the way, in Cleveland, the wind chill, last time I looked earlier today, was -8. Good luck with that one. -8. Yeah. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. Wind chill, -8 degrees. So, who's going to start? Is Sabonis going to start where he should be? I can't wait to see the starting lineups come out in a little bit. So give me a shout. 916-779-0929. Give me your picks. All right? I want to hear who you're taking in the games on Sunday. We will have our picks a little bit later in the show before we get you ready for the weekend. We will be on YouTube and X after the Kings and the Cavs, 4:30 start local time, which means we'll be on roughly, I'm thinking 6:45, 7 o'clock, right around in there. So make sure you join us over on YouTube and X, Jerry Reynolds, Ryan in Sacktown, and myself. From the 937, Grant, I know you have made comparisons between the Kings and Raiders as far as the way the two franchises are run. As a Raiders fan, I don't think it's a fair comparison because it's not like Mark Davis hasn't tried. He doesn't meddle with his team like Vivek does. He hires his people and gets out of the way. I truly feel that Tom Brady will help turn the franchise around in time. Well, I don't know you. I don't know where the 937 is located.
You know, I just looked that up.
Yeah, where's 937?
That is the Dayton, Springfield, and Kettering, Ohio area.
Okay. Well, you have been out in the cold way too much. If you are saying that about Mark Davis, when you say it's not like Mark Davis hasn't tried, I mean, how stupid is that? Name me an owner in sports who hasn't tried. I mean, you're are you kidding me with that? Are you serious? As a Raiders fan, I don't think it's a fair comparison because it's not like Mark Davis hasn't tried. Seriously? What is that supposed to mean? I got to tell you, 937, you've been out in the cold too much. It's affecting your brain. Step inside, get some logs on the fire, get some heat going through your body because you're not thinking straight. All right?
They have a concussion.
You're not thinking straight.
They have a concussion from standing next to an exploding tree.
There you go. A concussion next to an exploding tree. I knew it had to be something. Thank you. Yes. Come in out of the cold. All right? Because you're not thinking straight. I'm worried about you. I know it's, brutal weather right now. I just said, you're in Ohio, up on the shores of Lake Erie. The wind chill is, -8, -9, -10. I went to college in Ohio. I know all about the winters. You need to come inside. All right? You know what you really should do? Move to Northern California, get some warmth going through your body. And if you do, well, I've got some good news for you because if you have been looking at buying a home, waiting to buy a home, then you really need to be prepared to act soon for what's about to happen in the real estate market. The expected Fed rate cuts, what's that going to do? It's going to renew the housing market demand. It will flood the market. Bidding wars will happen. Homes will sell quickly, and you need to get ready. And the best way is to start with an experienced broker to represent you. That's Village Financial, Spencer Grimmenstein, broker owner of Village Financial Group. Spencer's white glove service, boutique experience, one-stop shop method. Bottom line, folks, it makes it so easy. And Spencer's going to navigate you right through the process from start to finish. He has extensive home listings throughout Northern California. Hey, you can take a peek too. Just go to their website, vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. And you can check it all out. All right. Now, he has got a lot of experience. I talk about that. 30 years mortgage brokering experience. Now, he's going to get you the best rates. He has access to private money. Keep that in mind. That will help expedite getting your offer accepted and closed. Don't forget to call or text Spence, okay? Text him, no problem. 916-805-4868. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Your phone calls, your messages, right here, next on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We are Fox Sports.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country, and your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, Or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hello, Friday. I've been waiting for you for a long time. You just save me.
Sad news out of the 49ers family. A legend is no longer with us. John Brody, gone at the age of 90. 17 seasons with the 49ers. You know, he was taken back in the 1957 draft. And again, he spent his entire career with San Francisco. 1973 was his last season. He was a great guy, really good on TV. Talked to John Brody a number of times. You know, you think of that era of football, and I watched John Brody play in person, but think about 17 seasons with the same team, which, you know, back then was not that unusual. You normally stayed with the same team. It's not like today. But 1957 to 1973, he appeared in 201 games. He started 159, threw for over 31,000 yards, 214 touchdowns. By the way, his 17 seasons, that is the longest tenured 49ers player. John Brody, age 90. Really just during that era, what John Brody did and his consistency and his tenure with the 49ers, rest in peace to a great man, John Brody. 916-779-0929. Send your recent caller to Winnipeg if he wants cold. They call it Winterpeg for a reason. Coldest annual temperature in Canada. I've never been to Winnipeg in the winter. I've only been there in the summer to announce a Canadian Football League game. Rhino, were you in Winnipeg, right? Did you go up there?
Nope. Edmonton
No?
only.
All right. Okay. What'd you say only?
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Okay. All right. Winnipeg was a great place to go to in the Canadian Football League. I used to love going to Winnipeg. That's where I told you the story about seeing the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
When I was just incredible. But anyway, that was I used to love going to Winnipeg. The 937 from Ohio said, Grant, it's Preston. You know who I am. Preston, you think I only know one Preston in my life? I don't know who you are. Thank you very much. Grant, who is on your Mount Rushmore of worst owners? How about the Mount Rushmore of best owners in pro sports? I'd have to give that a lot of thought. Off the top of my head, I couldn't really do that. That would take me some time. That would definitely take me some time. All right, again, who do you like? Who's winning the AFC Championship game? Who do you have winning the NFC Championship game? Let me know. 916-779-0929. NBA, you saw the Jonathan Kuminga injury. Really has not been an update of significance on that. But you just have to wonder what was going through the minds of everyone that is interested in Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors, who had just lost Jimmy Butler. Wow. Man. You know, we're hearing a lot of rumors right now, which I don't really pay that much attention to, because most of the times the rumors do not happen. They're just rumors. But he hurt his knee and ankle. He went up for a layup. He landed awkwardly in a game last night against the Mavs in the second quarter. And then, Kerr, after the game, said that he would undergo an MRI today. But then the Warriors said they weren't sure whether he needed one. So it looks like that it's nothing serious. So that's good. But they better hope it's not serious, because he requested a trade last week. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to get traded. A lot of players request trades. But it's very interesting to see where or if Kuminga gets dealt. There's been rumors about a Kuminga for Andrew Wiggins swap. Going to be very, very interesting to see what happens leading up to the 5th of February. And Rhino, we keep talking about this, the trade deadline, and how active, or will the Kings be active between now and the 5th? This is right around the corner.
I don't think the Kings are going to have a fire sale where they're giving guys away, but I think everybody minus the young guys could be traded if the right offer comes in. Keon Ellis, I would say, will not play more than one game in a Kings uniform at the Golden One Center again. But outside of that, I think, if you get the right deal, then it's time to get younger.
Yeah.
You got to get the draft capital. That's the key. They want draft capital.
I predict that within a couple of months, we will be discussing the big mistake that the Kings made in basically downgrading Keon Ellis from their plans.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely. Yeah. You would probably go back to this last summer and look at what the Kings had to work with, knowing that you were going to have a developmental year. That would have been a good time to try to extend him if he wanted to stay here rather than just pick up the option. Because at least I feel like we knew what Keon Ellis was at that point.
Yeah. I'm with you. Well, how about this from the 209? Grant, 11 years ago today, you called one of the greatest moments in NBA history when Klay Thompson scored 37 points in one quarter against the Kings. We'll never see something like that ever again. I agree with you. I don't think we will either. I can't believe that was 11 years ago today. Wow. That was something. What a incredible blessing it was to be in that arena on that night to watch that amazing performance that, in my 32 years of announcing NBA basketball, I saw a lot. I announced a lot. I saw incredible achievements. I saw incredible plays, comebacks, blown leads. I mean, I've seen it all, but I had never seen that. And I don't think we will ever see that again. Klay Thompson. And just to be honest, I do go back from time to time and watch the video that's on YouTube of Jerry and I calling that game, because they have the entire third quarter, not the entire third quarter, but they have like the key moments and the baskets, and you can hear the buildup in our voices as the quarter is progressing and our comments. And that is something that I will never, ever forget. That was wow. That was a wow moment. I've had wow moments as a broadcaster. We all do. If you're in this business doing live sports, like you can't do live sports and not have wow moments. That was a wow moment. Incredible. I can't believe that was 11 years ago today. Thank you for the memory. Wow. That really is incredible. From the 631, John never looked old. I could tell you that much. I love those days on NBC for the broadcaster. Rest in peace. He was really good on TV. He really was. He was a really good analyst. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched him play in person. I watched him, and I got to, wouldn't say know him. I talked to him a number of times. He's a great guy. Great. All right, let's get to a phone call or two and say hello to Bill in Citrus Heights. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Grant. Two comments. First, on the Rams and Seahawks, you made me think, and after your summary, I got to go with the Seahawks because it seems like they can overcome mistakes, and the Rams would have to play a perfect game.
Yeah, the other factor is remember that Devontae Adams did not play in the last game up in Seattle, and Seattle's down with one of their running backs. Obviously with Charbonnet, so there's a little bit of a different roster than what we saw on that Thursday night game in December.
Second of all, I've been a Raiders fan since they began. I mean, I'm not old. I saw them play at Castlemont High School. And I'm not, as much as I love the idea of them drafting Fernando, I almost wish they don't. Trade him away and let the kid become somebody special. He seems like a great young man, everything I've seen about him.
Okay, I don't understand. Why would the Raiders do that then? Why would you want
Because
that
Raiders
to happen?
can't
I'm confused.
Raiders have never developed a quarterback. They're not good at it. They get people that.
Well, that's not really fair when you say when you say they've never developed a quarterback and they're not good at it. I mean, that's really not fair to say because there is an ever-changing front office, coaching staff. So, like when you say they've never been good at it, well, what happened maybe in the 90s or in the early 2000s or whatever period of time you want to go to, that doesn't apply to today. I mean, we don't even know who the coach is going to be yet. We don't even know what the coaching staff is going to look like. You can't really say that. I don't know if that's true or not. As a matter of fact, that isn't true. The teams change.
I would give the Jets. I would give the Jets as a comparison for the last 20 some odd years. I wouldn't want to be a young quarterback going to the Jets either.
Okay, well, I understand what you're saying based on history, but again, when you have a changing front office and changing coaching staff, then the development of quarterbacks isn't consistent. It's different philosophies with different minds. And with the Jets, I would agree with you. I think the Jets have horrible ownership with Woody Johnson. So I would be apprehensive about going there too if I was a quarterback. But Woody Johnson has nothing to do with the development of quarterbacks. It's the front office, it's the coaching staff, just like it is with the Raiders. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like if I am Fernando Mendoza, I want to be the number one pick in the draft, and I want the challenge of being the number one pick in the draft. If you're the Raiders right now, you have to take what you think's the best player, and in this particular instance, you must take the best quarterback, whomever you think that is. They cannot make a mistake here.
No, I agree. He is the best player. He seems to be, really, but he seems to be such a good young man. And to be behind such a poor offensive line year after year after
Okay,
year
but the
after
offensive line's not going to be poor for the entire time he's there. All right? I mean, the key is to build the offensive line. Just because the offensive line is bad now doesn't mean it's going to be bad 2 years from now or 3 years from now or so on and so forth. I mean, that's part of the rebuild. I mean, when Troy Aikman went to the Dallas Cowboys, they had the worst offensive line in football, and then they ended up with the best offensive line in football, and it was instrumental in them winning multiple Super Bowls. So things change. I mean, the way the offensive line looks now is not really a factor on whether you take a quarterback or not.
No, I understand. I'm just thinking from the young man's perspective, not so much. I'm a Raiders fan. You think about the young man who seems to be such a good person. And I'm hoping he's one that's capable of changing. We'll see.
Appreciate the call. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much.
Grant, you have somebody out there that's like tracking your different landmarks because we got a text, what was it, like a month ago?
Yep.
Saying it was the 10-year, whatever year anniversary of the bogey game winner call.
Yeah, I don't know if these things pop up on social media and say, hey, 10 years ago today, 11 years ago today. I didn't even see this. I did see the Bogdanovich message on social media. I didn't see anything about 11 years ago today, the Klay Thompson.
Fair enough. You share that now with National Pie Day, Maternal Health Awareness Day.
Oh, my gosh.
National Handwriting Day.
What a joke.
Should I go on?
What is wrong with this country? Seriously.
Here's one for you. Snowplow Mailbox Hockey Day.
Excuse me?
Snowplow. It's National Snowplow Mailbox Hockey Day.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That will be good for those that are getting ready to get pummeled on the East Coast from this snowstorm.
That just is
Perfect.
unacceptable.
That is unacceptable. You're exactly right. We're going to go over the injury reports, which also could factor in this game, particularly, well, we know about Bo Nix not being in, but the Seahawks and their offensive line, we'll update you on that because that could be a real key aspect of this game upcoming on Sunday, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
The new year is here, a fresh opportunity to tell people about your products and services so they know who to spend their money with. Fox Sports Radio has a Mount Rushmore of sports talk talent. Patrick, Cowherd, Gottlieb, and Sacramento's own Grant Napear, and they have an audience you can take to the bank. This is Fox Sports General Manager Kurt Bagelman. Sports Talk listeners are a unique, target-rich group of consumers. They're employed, they earn six-figure incomes, 2/3 own their own homes, and they listen to the radio longer. Let me repeat that. They listen longer, so your commercial message has more opportunity to be heard. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great schedule could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580 or go to elitepower.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Nine 916-779-0929. From the 530, better odds of this happening. Someone scoring 40 plus in a quarter, or someone beating Kobe's 81. 37 from Clay was incredible. 40 and a quarter. That's never going to happen. So I think the odds would be somebody would have more than 81. That game, Ryan, wasn't that an anniversary too that you were just telling me during the break?
Yeah, 20 years ago yesterday.
Yeah, 20 years ago yesterday. So in that game, Kobe Bryant was 28 of 46 from the floor, which is amazing. I mean, that's amazing production. He made 7 threes. He also had 20 free throw attempts where he made 18 in his 81 points. So I think that would be broken. No one's going to score 40 and a quarter. That's never going to happen. I just don't see that happening. Speaking of the number of shots taken, so I'll never forget this. We're in Salt Lake City after shoot-around, and we are in the restaurant at the Grand America Hotel in Salt Lake City. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. It was built just for the Olympics when the Olympics were in Salt Lake City. It's the nicest hotel in Salt Lake City. And we're all sitting around. When I say we all, there's about 7 of us sitting around at a circular table eating after shoot-around, including Peja Stojakovic and John Barry. And this was, when you got all of your information from the newspaper, okay? And so you didn't have your cell phone in front of you where you could, it's not like today, okay? It's totally different. So John Barry it's pretty quiet. It's eating. There's a little talk going on, but not too much. And all of a sudden, JB goes, "Oh, my God." And he goes, "You got to be kidding me." And he just starts talking like that. And JB had a very dry sense of humor. And he's like, "Peja, can you freaking believe this?" He goes, "Did you see Allen Iverson's?" I'm looking at his numbers last night where he took 38 shots or something like that and scored 42 points or whatever. And JB's like, "Peja, can you imagine you and me taking 38 shots in a game? You think we'd only have 42 points? What a freaking joke." And he was just going on and on and on. And I was sitting there and I was laughing. I'm like, "JB, you're a piece of work, man." And he's looking at me. He's like, "Hey, dude, seriously. I mean, could you imagine me and Peja taking this many shots and only scoring that many points? You think that would ever happen? No, you got to be." And he went on and on and on. I was just dying listening to that.
JB's arms would be falling off after 30.
Oh, my gosh. Incredible. I was just like, classic. He was right, though. He was right. He was 100% correct. All right, so the injury report, and this is the real key, and it has to do with Charles Cross, their starting left tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. He was a full go today. He's not even on the injury report anymore. So that is great news, okay? That is great news. He was a full participant in practice today. The reason why that is so key is their backups, are less likely to be available. But he has got a foot injury, Rhino. But again, he was a full go in practice today. So that's good news for the Seahawks.
What do you think a Friday practice is like at this time of the season?
Not much, but I mean, it's still you got to be able to run. Okay. So if you can't run, then you're not a full participant in practice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very true. They only have one Seahawk listed as out and then one Ram listed as out. It's Chaz Surratt, linebacker for the Seahawks, and Rob Havenstein for the Rams, out with an ankle.
Yep. Grant, as a Raiders and Kings fan, you were absolutely wrong about Mark Davis. With Vivek running his clown show, there is no hope. Mark hasn't been great, but Vivek is all time bad. Well, first of all, let me tell you something, 209, how wrong you are again. This doesn't have anything to do with Vivek, all right? Like when you say someone's a bad owner, we don't say, yeah, he's a bad owner, but he's not as bad as so-and-so, okay? Because that is subjective, where you think that Vivek's a worse owner, or James Dolan's a worse owner, or Mark Davis is a worse owner, or John Fisher. The bottom line is, okay, they're all bad, okay? So it is a degree of bad. So, like, you want to, like, quantify that? Like, bad is bad, right? Are we going to put a different degree of bad? No, I am not. I am not wrong. I am 100% correct. Mark Davis is a horrible owner. Okay? I think he is the worst owner in the National Football League. You could come up with 2 or 3 other names that you could put in the same conversation, and I would say, okay, you're right. But you can't defend Mark Davis. You can't. And I say this begrudgingly because I like Mark. I know Mark, and I've enjoyed talking to Mark. And I have had a lot of great conversations with Mark Davis. So for me to come on and say, I think he's the worst owner in the NFL, it doesn't take me joy, or it doesn't give me joy in saying that. But you're not dealing with reality. And if, like, you're going to make yourself feel better because you're comparing him to somebody that you think is worse, well, what good does that do, right? Bad is bad. So you're going to say, well, he's really bad, but he's not as bad as, that's stupid. He's bad. That's all that matters.
Does he take input, you think, from Tom Brady, or is that just a smoke show?
But, no, but here's the other deal. In the reports that were about Jim Gray,
yeah,
like, if you're an owner of a football team and you're listening to Jim Gray, you're a moron. Okay? Like, and I understand that Jim Gray is extremely tied into the Raiders organization because I lived it. I was there with Jim Gray when he was part of the preseason television crew that I did for 5 years. And, he was on a first name basis with Al and was always around Al. And, like, I don't know why Al confided in him, but yeah. And then it carried over to Mark Davis. It's embarrassing.
But
if I'm Mark Davis, I'm not listening to Jim Gray. I can tell you that.
Yeah, how does that happen? It's one thing to confide. It's a completely other thing to have somebody like Jim Gray advising you on football.
I can't speak for Al because he's dead. And as far as Mark Davis goes, I can't speak for him either because I've never talked to Mark about it. But it's been widely reported as fact, which I know it's fact because I lived through it when Al was there. I have no idea. It's a joke. It really is. It's a joke. It's a joke. And I know Jim Gray very well. I work with him. Had many dinners with him on the road. I know Jim very well. I wouldn't listen to Jim Gray about football if I'm an owner at all. He's really, really tight with Tom Brady. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, they used to do the Monday night halftime spots.
But they're very
Westwood.
tight.
Yep.
And, again, you just look at the circle with Brady now within the Raiders. He's not going to, push Jim Gray out of the circle. But I'm with you. Like, why would you listen to Jim Gray if you're an owner of an NFL team?
Yeah, but that makes Tom Brady then look bad. If you're not going to look at Jim Gray and take what he has to say with a grain of salt, you being Tom Brady.
Yeah, but you're assuming that he is. Tom Brady's probably not, but that doesn't mean he has to push him out of his circle of friends.
Yeah, that's true.
916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Grant, I carried the leaderboard of the for John Brody at the Swing of Cancer at Del Paso in 86. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't John Brody the only former NFL player to qualify to play professional golf on the Senior PGA Tour? I believe you're accurate. Yes, I believe that's correct. Yes, he was an outstanding golfer, big time, and on the Senior Tour. So, yeah, you're 100% correct. I interviewed John a couple of times. I can't remember, at what juncture, but he was always gracious, great guy, and had just that tremendous voice. Like, when you interviewed John Brody, it was like, wow. I mean, again, I watched him play. and then watched him on many a telecast on NBC. But you're right. Excellent golfer. Outstanding golfer. Again, if you did not hear the news, John Brody passing away today at age 90. The longest tenured 49er of all time, 17 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers. 631 weighing in. Did you know, Ryan, that tomorrow is National Compliment Day?
I did not.
I'm glad that I'm not working.
You could find something to compliment.
I'm not working tomorrow. You think I'll find something to compliment on my Saturday where there's no football to watch?
Yeah. What is there tomorrow?
Am I going to watch golf?
I think that's about it, right?
Yeah. I could watch the Australian Open in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Would you compliment this name in the YouTube chat, their handle? It's Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. They say Jim Gray. Yuck.
Okay.
That's a creative handle. Stay.
Speaking of yuck, this may be my rant at 5 o'clock. Is there anything more embarrassing from a media perspective in the United States than to have one of our bonehead, idiotic journalists ask American tennis players for their opinion on what's going on in America and how they feel about it, meaning from a political perspective? Like, really? That's what you're asking the American tennis players on the podium after they just won a match at the Australian Open? Seriously? It's embarrassing. I don't know if you saw that, Ryan.
I did,
but I'm like,
it's
you got to be
desperate.
kidding me.
It's a desperate attempt to get a headline.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, first of all, those people should have their credentials revoked.
100%.
They shouldn't be there. And the tennis players should be more abrupt and embarrassing the reporters instead of being professional. And, you know, it's a joke. It's a disgrace. It really is.
I might have that beat for a rant idea. I think you're going to really like what I present to you at 5 p.m. Has to do with the Clippers.
Right? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. You can choose.
Yeah, okay.
But I found what the Clippers did pretty rich.
All right. So I am talking about Taylor Fritz after his match was asked, and you could tell that he was bothered by the question, but answered it like, you know, I'm really not going to talk, you know, about that and be a distraction. I'm here playing in the Australian Open, and I basically said I'm not going to say anything that's going to turn into, you know, basically a secondary news story. It's a joke. What kind of question is that? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Just like Jamel Hill. I don't know if you saw her comment.
No.
You know, I don't know if that's part of the, like, topics. But, like, Jamel Hill, in my opinion, does more to divide people in this country. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And I'll read it when we come back in a couple of moments. But her comment today on X is just ignorance. It is flat out racist. It is destructive. And it shows that she has got an agenda that I'm actually embarrassed that I'm even talking about it, but I feel like I have to, because it's people like Jamel Hill that keep this country so divided when it comes to black and white. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. I'll talk about that next, right here, the Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports, Sacramento.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580. Or go to elitepower.com.
If you can't remember the last time you had your home heating system inspected, it's probably time. Right now, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort is offering a $79 complete heating and air system inspection. We'll check your entire system, clean it up, and make sure it's running perfectly. Call or visit us online today and schedule your $79 winter system inspection at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Two hours left before we get you to the weekend. We'll have our football picks at the end of hour number 3. So as I went to break, I was telling you about Jamel Hill. First of all, I don't even know what Jamel Hill does anymore because she moves around so much for obvious reasons. But I have such a distaste and I'm bitter towards people that view life in a black and white lens. It's no way to go through life. It's shameful. It's destructive. I actually feel sad for people who live their entire life by looking at only black and white. It's really a shame. So she put on X, if you can believe this, Harry Douglas was absolutely right. None of the Falcon fans I know like the Stefanski hire. He had a losing record in Cleveland, and they didn't like how he handled the Shedeur Sanders situation. They love, in capital letters, Dion in the ATL. It's a black city with one of the blackest fan bases in the NFL, and they have a black quarterback on their roster. So a lot of Atlanta fans are side-eyeing this hire. Stefanski isn't going to get a honeymoon there. Just for the record, Kevin Stefanski is a two-time winner of Coach of the Year, just for reference, okay? So I want to read one comment from somebody that responded and said this: as a native Atlantan and former Atlanta Falcons season ticket holder, I will acknowledge right off the bat that unfortunately, Atlanta is among the most racist cities in the nation, especially politically. I readily admit that. But with regard to the Falcons hiring Kevin Stefanski as head coach, Jamel is completely ignorant. There may very well be a contingent of Black Falcons fans who are disgruntled that former head coach Raheem Morris, a black man, was fired, but it is a very small number, microscopic even. The overwhelming majority of Falcons fans, regardless of ethnicity, simply want to win. That's all they want. They love the NFL. They love the Falcons, and they just want to win games. Period. That's true of every franchise. Period. Okay? I wouldn't care, as a New York Giants fan, if the head coach was black, white, heterosexual, gay. I wouldn't care at all. Win. I don't care. Makes no difference to me. I don't care about their religion. I don't care about their ethnicity. I don't care about any of that. Never looked at that. Win. Jamel Hill, unfortunately, only looks at the color of an individual's skin when she makes her comments. That is her MO. She's done it her whole career, and I think that's why she gets bounced around everywhere for obvious reasons. It is shameful. It is despicable. It is so sad that in America in 2026, we have those like Jamel Hill who question the hire of a coach based on their ethnicity. It's a joke. It really is. It's sad. It's sad beyond belief. 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. And Ryan Clark of ESPN is the same way. The exact same way. And I'll tell you this, I don't know about you, but I will not watch anything that Ryan Clark is involved in. If I see him on TV, I turn it off. I don't care what it is. I will not listen to him. I will not watch him. I think that he has such a sad agenda and such a sad track record of comments that I deem to be flat out racist. I will not watch him. I don't want to hear anything he has to say because his track record and his resume are right there for all of us to see, and his comments are right there to go back and watch and listen to and read if you want to get educated on it. It's sad. It's beyond sad. It really is. So that's the society that we're living in today in 2026. It really is. It's incredible. Grant Morgan Freeman had a great quote that I will always remember. He said, "You know how we get rid of racism in America? Quit talking about it." Yeah. Yep. Grant, you wouldn't care if an NFL coach was a woman either, right? I wouldn't care at all if they cared about making the team good. I wouldn't care. I think that's never going to happen, but I wouldn't care. I think it probably would happen more so maybe first in the NBA than the NFL. But one of the reasons why I say that, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, I don't even know of an NFL organization that have any women coaches on their staff. I may be wrong, but I know in the NBA there are, and so I could see a woman becoming a head coach in the NBA, but not in the NFL. I don't think we're close to that. I could see it being close in the NBA, but I don't think we're close to that in the NFL. I may be mistaken about females on coaching staffs in the NFL, but I don't believe that to be the case. 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. But, if you are a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, they are a team that had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. And if you look at the buildup to that team, Matt Ryan at quarterback, and how they lost that game to Tom Brady and the Patriots, I don't think anybody in Atlanta was complaining that the head coach was white. That's and again, as far as the comment about Atlanta being, a racist city, I'm not going to go and make that comment. I have only been to Atlanta probably 30 times in my life, and it's only been for 1 to 2 nights to announce a game. I am not qualified to speak on that. I don't live in Atlanta. I'm not, up to speed on Atlanta as a city politically like that responder did. He is a native Atlantan, so he would be better prepared to speak on that than me. I'm not. So I'm not going to go there. But sports fans don't care. They do not care about the color of the coach's skin. They do not care. They want to win, and it does not matter. All right? Does not matter. Plain and simple. It does not matter. 916-779-0929. Again, that's 916-779-0929. The championship game on Sunday, the Kings and the Cavaliers are coming up here at the bottom of this hour. And, we talk about the starting lineups. We talk about who is going to be on the court. We'll know that momentarily as the Kings start a 6-game road trip in Cleveland in about a half hour. All right, let's get to some phone calls, and we say hello to Jeff in Sacramento. Hi, Jeff.
How you doing, Grant? Just to give you an intro, I've listened to you for over 20 years on and off. So I'm an avid Browns fan, but I can't back up Stefanski. Whether that racial issue part, he had mishandled Shador. He was the better quarterback. Whether he's going to be a star, that's a different conversation. But that award people keep showcasing, that's a media award. That's not his peers who awarded him Coach of the Year twice. He's very much a media king. He doesn't say much and nothing personal, but he's not very, very good. And so,
regardless of whether you like the way the system votes or doesn't vote, the fact is he was the Coach of the Year twice. All right, you can't just ignore that, and you can't take it away from him. You can talk all you want about how he handled Shedeur Sanders. There are a lot of people that cover the NFL that understood exactly what was going on in Cleveland and understand why Sanders had not played ahead of Gilbert, and it was very well chronicled. Now, you can go back and say, well, that was a mistake. He should have played Shedeur earlier. I mean, that's fine. He's not the coach there anymore. That is debatable, and you can debate it. And, there were different sides of that argument, but you can't take away his coaching credentials. And the reality is he would have been the head coach of the New York Giants had John Harbaugh not been fired by the Baltimore Ravens. So, I mean, you can say all you want about Stefanski. The reality is, had he not gotten the job in Atlanta, he would have gotten the job in New York. And had he not gotten the job in Atlanta, he would have gotten the job somewhere else. So in the NFL circles, in the circles of general managers and others that are in the business of football, they regard him as a very good coach. So I disagree with you completely.
When does it take a coach 8 and 26 to be regarded as a good coach?
Well,
it's not for long.
Well, first of all, there have been a lot of Hall of Fame coaches that have had horrible seasons and horrible 2-year stretches. Okay, that happens. If you want to look at the real problem with the Cleveland Browns, it has not been coaching. They have horrible, horrible, horrible ownership, among the very worst in the National Football League. So it starts right there. It is well known throughout NFL circles. It's not a mystery. It's not a secret. Everyone knows they have a real big ownership problem in Cleveland. But again, Kevin Stefanski, you're picking on, a record of 8-26. Well, again, he's been in the NFL for a long time. And as I said, if he's so bad, why did he get a job in Atlanta? And why were the New York Giants going to hire him before John Harbaugh became available? How did that happen?
It happened because they didn't give McDermott a shot. If McDermott was out there, I would have gotten him in either New York or Atlanta. I'm talking about his record, not the fact of whether it's a black or white issue. He is not the coach you think he is. Grant me, and I'm going to tell you, Grant, in a year from now, you're not going to be impressed with Stefanski. He's gone to 11 or 12 quarterbacks in Cleveland. He has not been the quarterback whisperer that people think he is. I hate to say we're going to have to agree to disagree, but welcome back, Grant.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. You have a good weekend, Jeff. Thanks for calling the show. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I disagree with Jeff, but I respect his opinion. If we're going to just go by Kevin Stefanski and what happened in Cleveland, then I would agree. It was a bad job, but you want to talk about a dysfunctional franchise. Wow. The Cleveland Browns. Awful. So we'll see. All I'm saying about Stefanski, I don't know Kevin Stefanski. I haven't met him, never talked to him. I don't know at all. What I do know is he was going to get a job. Had it not been with the Falcons, okay, it would have been somewhere else. He would have been back on the sidelines as an NFL head coach. Ask yourself, if he's a bad coach, why that to be the case? Ask yourself that question. Right? Why? Very simple. Because he is regarded by those that work in the NFL who make it their living to succeed or fail. He's regarded as a good football coach. Okay? So, you could say whatever you want, but come on. All right. Domas is not starting. The starting lineups have just been released, and I think this is coaching malpractice. I think it is embarrassing. I think it is a fireable offense, and I mean that. I'm not just, speaking to be clickbait or whatever you want. I think that the coach of the Sacramento Kings, Doug Christie, should be fired. I think this has been a clown show. It has been embarrassing. Okay, the Keon Ellis decision has been embarrassing. The Malik Monk decision has been embarrassing. And now a 3-time All-Star who's arguably your best player in his 4th game back is coming off the bench. It is embarrassing. It is a disgrace. And it shows the incompetence that is going on in the Sacramento Kings organization. And it starts with the head coach who has no business being a head coach in the NBA. It's embarrassing. It is an absolute travesty. There is no other way to say it. It is an embarrassment. For Sabonis not to be starting on the Sacramento Kings after everything that he has done for this organization, his warrior mentality, his workhorse mentality, playing hurt, and let's just call it the way it is. He got screwed that he wasn't an all-star the last 2 years. He should be a 5-time all-star, not a 3-time all-star. Doug Christie needs to be replaced because this is wrong. Okay? And if Scott Perry is making this decision, he needs to be replaced. Because whoever's making this decision to not start Domantas Sabonis does not need to be employed. Okay? That's how bad this is. This is an embarrassment that you treat players this way. It is an absolute embarrassment. Plain and simple. And by the way, for the record, he's not on the injury report. Okay? He's not on the injury report. And the fact that he is coming off the bench tonight is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
After he had a night where he was he had rest management.
Yes. I am telling you right now, because I've lived it and I know because I've been there. He is on his agent. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. What an absolute embarrassment. It's a joke. Hey, I want to talk to you about my friends at DAS Mechanical. You know, most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric. Bottom line, it's about getting more energy efficiency, and you're going to save a lot more money on your energy bills every month. Now, if your current heating and air system, let's say it's 15 years or older, okay, maybe it's time for a change. You should at least consider it. And if you talk about DAS Mechanical, do you know that nearly all of their work is gas to electric whole system changeouts? And Nick Delancey, the owner, and his staff, that's what they do. They are experts. His team are experts at this. They specialize in HVAC, retrofit, service, and these changeouts that I'm talking about. And they also have 0% financing, 24/7 availability. So, hey, if you have a heating emergency, no problem. They are there for you, 3 in the afternoon, 3 in the morning. Award-winning, locally owned, family-owned. Yeah, it's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Go online, D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org. You can book everything right there online. Check out their 5-star reviews and their numerous Best of the Best awards. That's dasmechanical.org. We'll get to your phone calls like Brian and others next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number:
800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. That's 800-941-4184.
Isn't starting? Get a grip. Well, if they're tanking, why is Zach LaVine starting and why is DeMar DeRozan starting? Ask yourself that question. And by the way, it's Napear, but thank you for the text. Let's get to Brian in Auburn. Hello, Brian. How are you?
I'm good, Grant. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for calling the show, Brian.
Hey, just for context, I'm one of the Kings fans that's basically stopped following and supporting the Kings probably right around December 1st. And basically all the information that I listen to is from your show, and the drama and ongoing saga just is unbelievable as as it keeps going. And I thought I heard it all when Monk was benched, but with the bonus and everything, if he is indeed healthy and cleared to play, it's just incomprehensible. And I just want to get your opinion. Is Doug doing this on his own, or do you, in your own opinion, do you think it's from the vet? If you had to guess, where is this coming from? Because it's so puzzling that you just can't make it up. So I just wanted to get if you had to take one guess, what is the reason for all this?
Well, I do think it is coming from Doug. And if it weren't coming from Doug, then he's humiliating himself and he's embarrassing himself. And I think Doug's too prideful to allow that to happen. So I think it is his decision. I don't know that 100%. I wouldn't etch that in stone, but you asked for my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. And I think it is Doug that is making these moves, because if it weren't, I think that would be embarrassing for Doug. I think he would be humiliated by that. And I just think he's too prideful for that.
Well, it gets worse and worse. So if that's the case, why in the world with his basketball IQ would you not play Monk? Like I could talk to I could talk to any elementary school basketball player and they could recognize Monk being a good player. Like,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I know Doug better than anybody on this that's listening to this show. I spent countless number of hours with him for years. Doug is very stubborn in terms of certain areas, and he has this vision of his perfect team and perfect player, and those two things, in my opinion, don't exist. I think they're fictional. I think it's fantasy land. I think that Doug expects every person to play the way he did, which was a great defender who played every play as if it were going to be their last. And I don't think he is dealing in reality. I think he has in his mind of what he wants his team to become. But unfortunately, he thinks it's obtainable and thinks it's possible, but it's not obtainable. It's not possible. And he is so locked in with this tunnel vision that is fictional and doesn't exist, that he doesn't allow himself to step out of his bubble and see what the reality is. That's what I think's going on with Doug. I really do.
Right. One last question. With that logic, do you think privately, as crazy, and I can't stand him as an owner, the way Vivek is, do you think he quietly is wondering what's going on and waiting to fire him? Or do you think he's just kind of waiting to see how this plays out?
Okay, that's a great question. Here's what I know about Vivek. He doesn't care whether it's a family member, I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say that, or somebody that he hired. He will turn on that individual as quick as you can believe. He turned on Luke Walton 1 week into his coaching tenure, and I know that to be factual. It's not an opinion because I was there and I saw it. Okay, he was constantly questioning Dave Yeager after games because I was there and part of the conversation. Okay, he thinks that he knows more than the coach. That's just the reality. I know that because I've been around the man enough that I understand that's how he thinks. As much as he adores Doug Christie and is a fan of Doug's, he will turn on Doug in a second. He loves Vlade Divac, loves him, loves Vlade, and went behind Vlade's back and was basically, talking to Joe Dumars and other NBA executives without Vlade Divac even being aware of it. And then Joe Dumars was brought into the organization and Vlade was out just like that. So there is no loyalty.
Right.
Vivek and the word loyalty don't exist.
Right. One last question just on top of that. Do you think the attendance is starting to impact what he thinks about the fan support, or do you think he's doesn't care or immune to that?
Oh, he cares. He cares. He cares. I don't know what do you think. You're talking about Vivek and what he thinks about the attendance. He cares.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
No, he cares.
Yeah.
He cares.
So,
Yeah. But
well,
he's
thanks
also.
for the time, Grant. Good combo.
Hey, Brian, thank you. You have a good weekend. Thank you. Appreciate it. From the 916, put a poll out on your Twitter. Do you think the Kings are tanking? And let's watch the results come in. It's so obvious. I can't believe you think otherwise. You know, you are delusional. Okay? You're delusional. What's going on with the Kings is not tanking. It's mismanagement. Okay? It's mismanagement. That's what's going on with the Kings. Now, if they were tanking, why is DeMar DeRozan on the floor in crunch time? Why is he on the floor? He's one of the best clutch players in the NBA. He's one of the best one-on-one players in the NBA. He's one of the most prolific players offensively in the NBA. Why is he on the floor at the end of the games if you're tanking? Okay? The fans want the Kings to tank. Doug Christie is not trying to lose these games on purpose. That's very obvious. It's also very obvious that he's not capable of coaching a team to prosperity. That to me is also very obvious. Both can be true. Ryan, I'm perplexed at why we still think that Doug Christie is not trying to win these games. His words at press conferences tell you otherwise, and his rotations at the end of the game, even though you and I question them and Jerry and others, you know, when you have DeMar DeRozan on the floor at the end of the games, you're trying to win the games.
Yeah, no, you are trying to win, and whether they're tanking or not, here's the line for me. The line is tanking's one thing, disrespecting your veterans, which you do not want to do with Russ, you do not want to do with DeMar or Dennis, but you have no problem doing to Domantas Sabonis? That's a whole nother thing. To Malik Monk? It's a joke.
It is a joke. It's embarrassing, and it should not be tolerated by Scott Perry, because if Scott really wants to go by his 6 principles, the standards, or whatever you want to call them, the Kings themselves have made it very well known what their 6 edicts are to become a Sacramento King, so on and so forth. Well, if you don't exhibit that as a franchise, then how do you expect your players to do that? Right?
Yeah. No.
How do you treat a player of Sabonis's character and talent and achievement this way? It's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable.
I said it on our post-game show a couple of nights ago. You are turning your volunteers into hostages. That is
Perfectly
what you're
said.
doing.
Perfectly said. 100% correct. And you know what's going on? Because I told you this was going on, because, again, I've lived it. You've got everybody in the locker room looking around, and they're going, what the hell is going on here? And they know they're in a clown show, and they all want to get out. And Sabonis is hoping that he gets done with the game, and he gets to the locker, and there's a message from his agent saying, hey, I think we're close. I think you're out of here. Okay? And the same thing's happening with other players, and they're hoping that they get that message and that phone call too, that they can pack their bags and get out of the doldrums that are the Sacramento Kings. And you made a good point last week or 2 weeks ago that is spot on. You must worry about whether this is filtering down to your young players who you do have hope for. That are they thinking that this is the norm? Are they now being affected and seeing, wait a minute, what's going to happen when I'm a veteran here what's going to happen when I got a couple of years under my belt? Are they going to do this to me too? Right? Like it.
Yeah.
And how can you treat? I mean, Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk, and I'm going to leave Keon out just because of his years of service in the league compared to those two. They have great stature in that locker room. They're loved. They're very well liked and respected. I mean, how can you have respect for your coach or the organization when you see them doing what they have already done to Malik Monk and Domantas Sabonis? The answer to that is you cannot.
Well, that is exactly why I think it makes this all the more interesting. You remember we played this yesterday. We're going to play it again right now.
This team is very resilient. We got some veterans. We obviously got some young guys, and they watch and see. I talk to my young guys quite a bit. Neek, Dylan, and Max. Whether it's text, pull them into my office and have conversations just to make sure that their mind's right, because they're going through something that this isn't how it's going to be. It's how it is right now, but this is not as how it's going to be. So I got to make sure that they're always staying on the right vibration, and the mindset is locked in. As far as the veterans, they've been through a lot of different things. So the resiliency that you see in them is high level. So, you don't expect anything different than, they let that go, come out the next game. And that's how you can also go on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, you can go on a 4-game win streak, but I don't know if you're aware of this, Doug, but you're 12-33. Okay, you're 12-33, and you have the worst net rating in the conference by a country mile. So yeah, whoop-de-doo. You won 4 games in a row. You're 12-33.
Yeah, to me, I'm looking at. I'm talking to the young guys all the time. Well, what are you telling the young guys? You're saying this isn't how it usually goes, but we're at a different phase right now, and you guys exhibit the principles, so our rotations are going to be a little different. And to your point, oh yeah, is that going to be us? Is that in the back of your head? Because these guys know right and wrong. You
Sure
don't
they
need
do.
6 months in an NBA locker room to know how is
No.
that guy not starting.
It's a joke.
I guarantee you, Max Reynaud, and this is just me saying, I guarantee you there's a part of Max that is confused that he is in the starting lineup. And that is a professional athlete that wants to be on the floor at all times.
Of course. And anyone that thinks that Max Reynaud is a better player than Domantas Sabonis is delusional. And Max himself knows that he's not a better player than Domantas Sabonis. And every coach in the league knows that. And every player in the league knows that. And it's a joke. Here's a message from the 858. Even if Sabonis or Monk leave, we can't excuse this behavior from Doug Christie.
No.
This behavior must be dealt with, and fans should not tolerate it. You're right. The fans should not tolerate this. It is an embarrassment. It is flat out wrong. And here's the other aspect. Domantas Sabonis is respected all over the league by his peers. And should he get traded between now and February 5th, the first thing he's going to do when he gets to his new team is talk about the train wreck that he just left. Just like De'Aaron Fox did when he got to San Antonio. And you know that De'Aaron did that because he said so publicly. Okay? He didn't just do it privately. He came out and he talked about it. He was very public about that. Okay? Harrison Barnes knows about the train wreck. The players in San Antonio, and the word spreads. There's no secrets in the NBA. And so, the players that are on the trade block, and there could be an exception. Jonathan Kuminga probably just wants to get out of Golden State so bad that he doesn't care where he goes. But for the most part, players are going, please don't trade me to Sacramento. Please, I don't want to get traded to Sacramento. That's the reality of the situation.
No doubt about it. I knew this team was going to take a step back when it came to wins and losses. I didn't think they were going to take a step back in terms of reputation. I didn't think that was really possible. But treating veterans in this way, basically telling them that we're moving on. How many other teams, Grant, start sitting their guys like this?
I will tell you, they don't. And this season is so much worse than I thought it was going to be when before the season began, I predicted that it would be a disaster, but I didn't think to this degree. This has exceeded my vision that I had in the middle of October when I told you that this season would be a disaster. I've been very consistent about it. I told you exactly what was going to happen when Scott Perry was not allowed to hire his own coach, and that the owner hired the coach and not the general manager. And from that point forward, I told you what was going to happen. And here we are on the 23rd of January, and this season is not only a disaster, it's truly embarrassing. And the way they are treating Domantas Sabonis is unacceptable. It is unprofessional, and it is something that you would not see anywhere in the NBA except for Sacramento.
Well said, partner.
Period. We'll be right back. Fox Sports Sacramento.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabroods. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabroods or visit Gabroods.com. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort is all about keeping you comfortable at home. And when your sewer system backs up or the toilet suddenly won't flush, that's not comfortable. Sierra Pacific's expert plumbers are always ready to deal with household plumbing emergencies. We'll come out and solve the problem, no problem. Expert plumbing service anytime at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580, or go to elitepower.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country, and your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
I'm retired and worried about the cost of food, medicine, and rent. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Best of all, it's free. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
All right, the Kings have begun their road trip, one of 6 in Cleveland. By the way, one of the nicest arenas in the NBA. Beautiful facility in Cleveland. I've always thought that was one of the very, very best arenas in the league. So inside, hopefully they got the heat on, and that's when you just can't wait to just get inside. You don't even care where you're going. Just get me inside with wind chill near 10 below 0.
Really surprised that that's one of the nicest arenas in the NBA.
It's beautiful. That's gorgeous. They did a great job with that arena. Beautiful. Really, really nice.
When did this one open? Do you remember?
It's been a while. It's not a new arena, but they had great vision when they built it. It's always one of my favorite arenas to go to and one of my least favorite cities to go to. Although I actually did enjoy visiting Cleveland because a lot of my fraternity brothers live in Cleveland. So whenever I was there, we would get together. We had a restaurant right near the hotel that we would meet at. We would reserve a private room, and there would be 15 or 20 of us in there for lunch whenever I was in town, and that was always great to see my friends from college.
Good thing it was lunch and not dinner.
Yes. Kings off to a great start. They're only down 7-0 with a minute 50 to go, or minute 50 gone by in the first quarter.
Make it 9-0.
9-0 now? Okay. Yeah. So a good start to the road trip. Way to go. Again, 2 minutes and 1 second gone by, and it is 9-0 in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, not the start you wanted.
Cleveland is 15-5 versus teams under 500 this year.
Okay. That's good to know. They're 15-5. Would the Kings qualify as one of those teams under 500?
They would qualify as one of those teams under 250 names.
Under 250. What's wrong with you? Oh, my God.
Too many things. We only got half a show left.
They would qualify as one of those teams under 250. Oh, my gosh. Is that San Diego State math?
Oh, yeah. It's right off the top of the head, too.
Yeah, I didn't go to math very much in Bowling Green because the winter in Cleveland is the winter in Bowling Green, and I tried very, I tried to make sure I stayed in warm weather, and that meant that I couldn't leave the fraternity house because if I did, I would freeze walking to class. So I had to weigh the pros and the cons of going outside and whether I was going to get frostbite and have to be hospitalized or staying in my fraternity house, drinking beer at 12 in the afternoon and watching TV. And, those were tough decisions,
Hey, imagine if there was digital classes back then for you.
Oh my gosh. You know that when I went to college, they had high and low beer. So if you went to a bar and you were not 21, but you were 18, you could still go into the bar. But when you showed your ID, you got your hand stamped. And you could only drink low beer, which was like 3.2 alcohol content. So you would just have to drink twice as much. You know what I'm saying?
Low beer. That is hilarious.
Yeah, no, they had low beer. That was the law in Ohio. And if you weren't 21, you could drink beer, but it was, they called it low beer with a lower alcohol content. Yeah.
3.2.
Now, that did not apply to our parties that we had at the fraternity house. We got all the kegs were stuff, regular. Yeah. But yeah, that's very true.
You know what's interesting is there was probably not much of a demand for fake IDs then. If you could just go get your low beer at 18.
Yeah, that's true. But I would think, and I can't remember for myself because it's been so long ago, if you had a fake ID that said you were 21, then, you could. But you're right. You're probably fairly accurate there. Now, when I grew up in New York, the drinking age was 18, and there was no high beer or low beer. If you were 18, I actually worked at a bar at age 18, and I tended bar at the Woodbury Pub in Woodbury, Long Island at 19. So, yes, it was different. Each state had their own, laws as it pertained to drinking. But in New York, when I was growing up, the age was 18.
Okay,
18.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought when we were in New York for New Year's, there was a law that if you were with your parents, you could drink maybe not hard alcohol, but you could drink, I believe it was beer and wine.
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
Because my parents never drank. Well, I shouldn't say they never drank. My mom did, but I don't ever recall being with my mom or dad under the age of 18 and having a sip of alcohol.
I'll have to do my due diligence on that.
Yeah. By the way, the Kings have not scored yet. They're down 11-0. And it looks like Russell Westbrook will go to the line where he wasn't fouled.
And he has made one free throw. He made two.
What's that?
He's made both free throws. 11-2.
Yeah. That's the whole key for the Kings. Just get to the line. Make your free throws, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the post-game show on YouTube and X right after it's all done. So if you want to occupy some of your time a little bit later, you know where we'll be. We'll be on YouTube and X. Jerry Reynolds, Rhino, and myself will break down the game as it is a hot start for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are getting to the basket whenever they want. It's like they can just walk in. The Red Sea is parted. The Matador defense, come on in. We are open for business. No problem. Dunk on our head. Score 2-footers, 3-footers. Yeah, the handsy Sacramento Kings only down 13-2 here in the opening minutes of the first quarter on the mistake on the lake.
The mistake on the lake.
Yeah, that's what we used to call it. Everyone called it that.
You know how you got into the report or the story that was in ESPN about Lakers management and Jeannie Buss?
Yes.
And then we recapped the Rich Paul stuff. Well, LeBron was asked last night about his feelings on the report.
Quite frankly, I don't really get involved in that or the reports or whatever the case may be. I've seen a lot of it, obviously, but I don't really care about the reports, to be honest. You guys know me. You guys know since I've been here, my 8th year here, been in this league 23 years. There's going to be another article tomorrow, especially involving me. And at the end of the day, when I came to this organization, my whole mindset was about restoring, excellence, and the things that I've seen growing up, with the Lakers. Obviously, I didn't get an opportunity to watch the Showtime, but I know the history, and then in the early 2000s with Shaq and Kobe, and then what Kobe did, and, those couple runs with him and Powell. So, my whole mindset was like, how can I get, that feeling back to the Lakers organization, and where, when the Lakers and the Knicks and the Bulls and, the Celtics are good is great, so, and I was able to do that along with, our 14, 16 other guys winning a championship, bringing a championship here, that's always been my mindset. So, quite frankly, I don't really care about articles. I really don't. I don't care about stories. I don't care about podcasts and all that.
You know what I think? I think the majority of fans don't care. I think the majority of fans have tuned out LeBron and this story. I don't think that anyone outside of Los Angeles and even in Los Angeles gives a damn about this story. And I think it's pretty evident that LeBron is not starting in the All-Star game this year. And I think that if you are in other cities in America, like Sacramento, Denver, Dallas, New York, Philly, I don't think anybody's talking about this. I don't think it's a big deal other than the fact that LeBron James is talking about it. But, I mean, to me, I think this is a non-story to the sports fans of America. I don't think they care. Like, who cares? And LeBron said, I don't care. We don't care. I don't care. You don't care. Who cares? Who cares about what's going on with Jeannie Buss and she doesn't like LeBron or she fell out of? Who cares? It's like nobody's losing sleep over this. Nobody cares.
Okay, but here's why I actually do care. He was asked if he talks to Jeannie Buss. Here's what he says. Actually, he doesn't care either.
I don't understand. Like, it's not like me and Jeannie be on the phone talking. You guys ain't never heard a report about that. Don't make something out of it that is not. It's always been mutual. It's always been respect. It's always been a great partnership. But it's not like I call Jeannie on the phone. It's not like I call Mickey Harrison on the phone or Dan Gilbert on the phone. Like, come on, guys. Don't make this more than what it is. I don't care.
Here's why I care. He's contradicting himself. Yes, he's right. He doesn't pick up the phone and call Jeannie, but it's him and Rich Paul's MO to do everything through the media. They don't do it the right way and go through the owner. It's annoying.
By the way, the Kings have already taken 2 timeouts in the first 5 minutes of the game. Sabonis is in the game, and the first play that he's into the game, he finds an open man for an assist, and now it is 16-6 thanks to Sabonis. In 2 possessions, he has 1 assist and a basket, as the 16-2 game is now 16-6. But he's not good enough to start. Let's not start him.
No.
Freaking joke. It's a joke.
Oh.
It's an absolute joke.
And he just got a rebound and a putback dunk.
Yep.
Think he's motivated?
2 possessions for Sabonis, 1 assist, and a offensive rebound and a dunk.
And don't for a second think that he's not going to try to prove a point to Doug Christie. It's about beating the Cavs, but he's going to prove a point too. He ain't going to be shy.
I believe that Sabonis will not play a game again in Sacramento with a Kings jersey on.
Wow, we're going bold.
I'm going bold. I think he'll be gone before this road trip is over. And I think his agent is telling Scott Perry, you know what? Stop it. Get him out of here. We've got deals. Here's some deals that you can make. Make them. My client does not want to be there anymore.
Here's what I'll say. There's a lot of reports out there about a team that was recently in Sacramento that values Domas, that has valued him for a while, that plays a style that is conducive to what they play around around a selfless budding star in Scotty Barnes. If Toronto is willing to attach draft capital, which the Kings want, not saying Desmond Bane draft capital, but a first-round pick, maybe 2 first-round picks, I agree with you, Grant. I 100% agree.
You agree that he'll be gone before the Kings get back to Sacramento?
Correct.
Okay. I'll tell you, if I'm Toronto, I mean, whoever gets Sabonis is going to be very happy.
But that's the thing. With his number, he's got to be the guy for you. You can't bring Sabonis on just to be a big that rebounds and passes. He has got to be part of the fabric of what you do. And when you look at the list of teams that qualifies for, there's only a handful, and Toronto's one of them.
Kings are down 20-6 in the first quarter. Don't forget, in the third hour of the show, as Sabonis looked like he was fouled on a play. But anyway, we're going to have our picks coming up next hour. Rhino, have you made your picks, or are you still kind of, I know you're going with Seattle, but have you made any other picks?
Yeah.
Like, have you made the AFC? Do you know what you're going to do?
Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. Got to go. I got it all figured out, which means I don't have anything figured out, because you should always fade Rhino. Fade me.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. Yes. But I may change my mind between now and then.
What would conceivably change your mind between now and then?
Because I'm on the fence on one of the games.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. All right. If you stick around, you'll hear Grant's rant. That's coming up next. Our picks at the end of the next hour. 2 hours in the books. 1 hour remaining. 22-9 Cavaliers. First quarter, 5:40 left. Grant Napear, Fox Sports, Sacramento.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouthwatering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The final four teams left standing in the playoffs are easy to admire for their offensive fireworks. Patriots, Broncos, Rams, Seahawks all feature explosive units. But if you're only looking at the offenses, you're missing the real story, because defense is the common thread. 3 of the 4 remaining teams rank inside the top 5 in points allowed per game. The Rams, the lone exception, still a very respectable 10th. That is not a coincidence. It's a massive factor in each team's success. Scoring in bunches helps get you here. Defense is what keeps you here. Playoff football is colder, tighter, and far less forgiving. Drives shrink, mistakes multiply, and when possessions matter most, stops become gold. These conference championship games are not just showcases of offensive brilliance, they are reminders that even in the era built around scoring, championships are still won on the defensive side of the ball. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
What goes better with a meal? Bacon. At Heartland Steakco, they take their bacon seriously. From their double smoked hickory to their honey jalapeno, which brings sweet and spicy together for the perfect combination, to their all new bacon flavors like whiskey peppercorn with its smoky richness, to their applewood double smoked bacon that's smoked over real applewood chips, to their all new maple bourbon bacon, which brings out the subtle notes of maple and bourbon for a rich taste. Heartland Steakco has your bacon and USDA Midwestern beef ready to ship and delivered straight to your door. Don't wait. Order today for yourself, a friend, or anyone who loves that true Midwest taste. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And right now, when you spend $199.99 or more, you'll get free shipping plus 2 pounds of bacon with promo code BACON. Go and get your bacon from heartlandsteakco.com. That's heartlandsteakco.com, promo code BACON. Taste the Heartland difference.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
What do you got for me, Rhino?
Grant, I have one option because I'm so confident in this. So you know how the Clippers built their new arena? One side or one section of the arena has no seats. It's called the wall where the Clippers fans stand up. Well, they played the Lakers last night, and somebody in a Lakers uniform had a ticket to sit as part of the wall. Okay. Here is what was given to them by Clippers personnel. Looks like you've crossed into forbidden territory in the wall. The wall is a sacred place for Clippers fans only, and right now you're a little out of bounds. Cheering for the other team or rocking gear that's not all about the LA Clippers, not in our house. This is your one and only warning. If you break the wall code again, you will be shown the door, no refund, no mercy, and yes, you'll be judged by all of Clipper Nation.
Are you joking or are you being real serious?
I'm being serious. It goes on. And if you're checkmark certified, you'll lose that coveted certification, your access to the wall, and you'll be paying full price for concessions from here on out. No more insider deals for you. You have been warned. Hashtag Clipper Nation.
Well, I would love to get a attorney on the phone and find out, like, how could you do that? Okay. Isn't that the same as not allowing a certain sex or ethnicity into your club? Or we can just go on and on and on. Really? So you're telling me if you go to a Clippers game and you are a fan for another team and you're in that section called the wall, that you are not allowed to do that? Like, what is going on? Seriously, is this Steve Ballmer? Is this his idea? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I have been watching sports in person since 1962. And yeah, I'm not crazy about it. When I go to Yankee Stadium and sit in the bleachers as a kid, and there's somebody 2 rows in front of me with a Cowboys shirt on, yeah, I'm not crazy about that, but they're not going to get kicked out. Or if you go to Sacramento as a Lakers fan or a Warriors fan and you're obnoxious and you bug the heck out of everyone, you're not getting kicked out. You're not getting your privileges revoked. Since when is this okay? And why do the Clippers think that, like, there's some holy franchise where, oh, we're the mighty Clippers and you can't wear a Lakers shirt into our building? The Lakers are a professional franchise, historically speaking, and you are a franchise of amateurs, historically speaking. What a joke. I can't believe this is true. When you were talking to me about this, I was like, are you making this up or is this true? And I know you wouldn't do that. I can't believe this story. This is unfreaking believable. And I can't believe the NBA would, number one, allow this behavior. And number two, Ryan, with your background in law, how is this even legal?
I don't know, Grant. You would have to turn to the terms when you bought the ticket and what's on the ticket when you actually have it, because you agree to those by entering the building.
Wow. Unbelievable. What a quarter Dennis Schroeder's having coming off the bench. He's got 11 points, and the Kings are a free throw away from making it a 1-point game. Sabonis has been great since he's come into the game. It's been great.
Dylan Cardwell, 3 fouls already.
Yep. That's an issue.
It's a big
definitely an issue. Yep. All right. Again, if you want to get in on the program, 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. It was a 6-2 start for the Cavaliers, but from that point forward, it has been all Sacramento. And once again, Ryan, it's the bench that's come in and turned the whole game around.
Yeah, we said it on the last post-game show. We could write a story for this season of how this goes. The starters, bad. Bench, good. You're close at halftime, maybe have a lead. And then third quarter, you just get dumped on because the starters come back out. And then the bench brings you back, and then you go to the closing unit.
Yeah, the Kings actually do have the lead at 33-31. Malik Monk off the bench, made 2 of 3 from downtown. And Sabonis has really been instrumental in running this offense here along with Schroeder. So, again, the Cavaliers have gone cold, but the game is 33-33. But you're right, Cardwell with 3 fouls in the first quarter. That's something he's going to have to, I think, experience. It's the cheap fouls that we talk about, Ryan.
Yeah.
You make your fouls count. Make sure that they're in the right frame of what you're trying to do and don't pick up cheapies.
Yeah, the Kings went to a zone defense, which has slowed the Cavaliers a little bit. But yeah, Cardwell's got to be better about that. Grant, here's what's perplexing to me. What were we all talking about when we were thinking about getting Domas back? It's like, oh, we want to see Max and Domas together. Well, you didn't see a lot of it. And now Doug Christie's hand has been forced into it, and they're playing extremely well together.
Yeah. 916-779-0929. Yeah, but he's got to be forced into making a move that we've been talking about for months.
That's the point.
Yeah. Man. Grant, was there a reason given for Sabonis not starting tonight? No. Nope. Doesn't make any sense. Just does not make any sense at all. But he has been playing really well since coming into the game. Really, really well. All right, again, don't forget, we're going to have our NFL picks coming up a little bit later this hour. After the Kings-Cavaliers game, we will be on YouTube and X. Jerry, Rhino, and myself will have the post-game show, stop 1 of 6, and there will be some weather issues on this road trip as the winter storm is coming in through that part of the country, and it could affect them arriving in New York after their matinee game Sunday in Motown, as the New York metropolitan area is supposed to get devastated by this winter storm. They're expecting a whiteout, which means the airports would close. So they may find themselves in Detroit a little bit longer than they would like to. It's all part of the deal. When you travel, it's part of the deal.
So
you got to be prepared for everything.
You do have to be prepared. Apparently, when you purchase tickets to the wall,
yep,
you are agreeing, like I said, to the terms that are laid out for the wall. And this is more targeted towards the fans that might have season tickets there, that have an in to get those tickets more often, giving them away to somebody of the opposing teams. But yeah, it's legit. So they're able to do it. And here it says they might be relocated, but the Clippers have the right to terminate if they would like. So yeah, it's a real thing. It's a Steve Ballmer idea. He wanted it to be exclusive for the Clippers with so much rich fan legacy and history.
Now, the wall is a nice concept, the actual design.
But you can't
I like
do that.
the concept, but
you can't do that. You know what?
I know.
When that happens, it happens organically. Like the Hawks Nest in Seattle, people just know you probably don't want to sit there. Grant, do you think fans of the opposing team tried to get tickets in the black hole? Probably not. You don't put that out in writing. You're forcing it.
35-35 at the end of one quarter as the Kings were down, 16-2. They went to the bench, and the bench led by Schroeder, Monk, and Sabonis turned the game around. And again, they are even through one quarter of play, the Cavaliers and the Kings. So we'll talk more about this game. NFL, who do you like? We've been talking about championship weekend. As a Seahawks fan, what is your biggest concern? Is it Sam Darnold?
Being able to run the ball effectively.
Okay. Now down to pretty much one back.
Yeah. Without Charbonnet, without Sonic and Nichols, they have different styles of running.
Yeah. And then Devontae Adams did not play in the last meeting, and he's going to be on the field coming up on Sunday. So they have that extra weapon that they did not have in Seattle in that middle of December game.
Do you know why I'm not super worried about that?
Why?
The Rams were able to get the ball to Puka before, and he was the number one option. Does it make a huge difference Devontae's back?
It makes a difference from a Seattle secondary game plan. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
It does in theory, but I'm saying if Puka is the number one guy in your game plan and they can get it to him all day, how much of a difference is it going to make having Devontae back?
Well, it's going to make a difference if their game plan is to try to neutralize and take Puka out of the game. You know, you can't take everyone out of the game, and Devontae Adams is a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver and has had a tremendous year. So, yeah, of course it makes a difference. I mean, you can double coverage. You can make it very difficult. As if your game plan's coming in, let's say your game plan coming in is to neutralize Puka. Okay, you can do that, but then you got one-on-one coverage or more of a difficult assignment on Devontae Adams.
Right. And I agree with you in theory. What I'm saying in practice is Puka was the guy, has been the guy, and the Seahawks haven't had an answer for him without Devontae on the field. What makes me think that's going to change regardless? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll find out on Sunday, but I'm with you. The running game now, it's now Walker's going to have to carry the load, and the Rams, I got to believe Stafford's going to have a really good game. I don't think we're going to be on the air Monday talking about Matthew Stafford not playing well.
Grant, he's been, outside of that Atlanta game, he has been so locked in this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have that. The crowd, listen, the crowd's not going to be that big of an issue. It's just not. The teams now run their offenses so well on silent counts. Yes, is it an advantage to be at home? Of course it is. But I think from the Rams' perspective, it should not be that big of an issue.
Well, especially coming off of playing in Chicago in that atmosphere. You've had a week of practice doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, again, if you want to call the show, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929 as we get you right up to 6 o'clock. And again, we've got our picks that are going to be coming up here in about 35 minutes or so. So we're looking forward to that. Only 2 games. We're down to 2 games, and we'll see what happens. We were 2-3 last week, by the way, because we both picked Indiana, and they obviously won the game, but they didn't cover. So we lost that game. So we split in the NFL games, and then we could have been 3-2, but Indiana did not cover. So we ended up going 2-3 because we had the exact same picks.
You know what? I will take 2-3 with an Indiana victory. I can't be sour about that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah, absolutely. Could you imagine having to listen to Michael Irvin all week?
Oh my gosh.
No, seriously. Could you imagine what that would have been like?
The party would still be going.
Yeah. So in Miami, I got to know Mike Rump very well. He was a former high draft pick, first round pick of the 49ers, defensive back, and he's on the Miami coaching staff. And I've gotten to know Mike very well. I've hung out with him on numerous occasions. Great, great guy. And I was actually, I was thinking, okay, well, if Miami wins, I'm going to be really, really happy for Mike, not Mike Irvin, Mike Rump. And
thanks for clarifying.
Yes. So I'm not anti-Michael Irvin. I just think it got carried away, I mean, he's not my favorite. I'm not I really have trouble watching him on TV. He's too much for me. But I was really, I would have been very happy for Mike Rump. Great guy. Really good career with the 49ers and then moved on and went to college at Miami and is really a good guy. I'm very happy to see him doing so well on the coaching staff with the Miami Hurricanes.
That's awesome when you have a connection like that. The problem with a guy like Michael Irvin, and I've never met him, but it comes off like you're bigger than the team. Like you're taking attention away from the team. You're Michael Irvin. If you're on the sideline, the players know who you are. The fans know who you are. You don't need to rally the media around you to slap a Gatorade bottle with a belt.
Yeah, great point. Kings leading here in the first half in Cleveland by the score of 41-38. And I would think that the Cavaliers will start to take control of this game as soon as Russell Westbrook gets back into the game. And we'll see at what point that happens. So I would think at the start of the third quarter, that's when things will change.
Oh,
I'm
Russell.
sorry, but that's just what's going to happen.
No, he'll be in before that. That's what sometimes leads to the slow ends at halves or at the end of the first half. He'll be in to close out the first half. He always is.
The Kings with the lead of 43-41 with 2 minutes into the second quarter. It says, to be fair, the wall sounds similar to the black hole, and it may be a proactive approach to keep opponents out to prevent fights or something similar from happening. I don't think it has anything to do with fights. I mean, the black hole might, but not the wall at L.A. What do you think, Rhino? I don't think fighting had anything to do with it.
I think that it's a fair point to bring up, but I don't think, to your point, you have Clipper fans that are that quite dedicated yet. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Again, 916-779-0929. We'll keep you updated on the Kings, the football weekend. Who do you like? Hit me up on the text line. Are you going Denver, New England, Seattle, the Rams, the 2 number 1 seeds, Denver with their backup quarterback, Seattle without one of their 2 running backs. Cross looks like he's good to go at left tackle. He was a full go at practice today with the foot issue. Seattle's defense, but they are, I'll tell you this, we talk about the 2 games, the 7-1 disparity in turnovers. The Seahawks with 7 turnovers in 2 games against the Rams in a regular season. Well, we better not be talking about that on Monday if you're a Seahawks fan, because that won't get it done on Sunday. That is not going to get it done. That will not happen. We'll come back, and then in the final segment, our picks for championship weekend right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We've got great news for vehicle owners, regardless of what you drive, here at Downtown Ford Sacramento. For a limited time, bring your car or truck to Downtown Ford. We'll beat any major tire store's prices on a set of world-class Michelin or BF Goodrich tires. Then, we'll kick you down an $80 mail-in rebate. And that goes for any car or truck you drive. You'll get the best deal anywhere on Michelin or BF Goodrich tires installed by our top-notch service team, plus an $80 rebate. That's how we operate here at Downtown Ford. We've been selling Fords for over 100 years, and we've learned some things. Rule number 1 is to put the customer first. Treat customers right, and they come back. That's our formula, and it's why we were chosen as a Car Guru's top dealership for 2025. We are Downtown Ford Sacramento. Come see us on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580, or go to elitepower.com.
Rhino, do you think the Kings, I'm sure that there's a stat, but I am not aware of it. Do you think they lead the league in fouling three-point shooters?
They've got to be near the top, Grant, because I would notate in my notes every game if they did. And towards the start of the season, there was at least one through, I want to say, the first 8 games. I'll look that up. But yes, I do think they.
Here's a great question on the text line. Grant, why are the Bills interviewing Phillip Rivers for the head coach position? Yes, he has player experience, but only high school coaching experience. I'm with you. I was shocked when I saw that. I don't know if that was just a courtesy interview. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Courtesy interview?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know he didn't play for the Bills, but he's very well respected around the NFL. So, I mean, why else would you interview Phillip Rivers? You're going to hire a coach to take over for Sean McDermott with Buffalo that's got no NFL coaching experience? Come on.
Well, you said that Buffalo wants a blue-collared, tough, gritty character at that head coach position. He meets those qualifications.
That would be a disaster to hire a coach that has no NFL coaching experience. I don't care how long he's played in the league. I can't see any way in the world the Bills do that. I would be shocked by that.
Daboll's interviewed, right? Didn't he get a couple?
Yes. And what did I tell you last week?
You thought it might be him.
Right.
Fits.
Now, that doesn't mean he's going to get the job, but it made a lot of sense to me.
John
We'll see.
Harbaugh making some moves in New York.
Yeah, I think he's only retaining 2 members of the previous staff, and everyone else has been shown the door.
That's not unnormal though, right?
No, that's very typical.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, very typical. I think the Giants could be really good this coming year, and I don't mean division championship good, but I think they could definitely be a wild card team when I look at what they have, and assuming that Jackson Dart stays on the field and Malik, and again, I'm saying if Malik Neighbors can come back and be, that number 1 receiver from his injury, I think they could be pretty good. I think offensively they could be really, really good.
How do you do that with Jackson Dart, where you make him a threat with his legs, because that's a huge part of his game, but not expose him to so many hits?
It's going to have to be someone that gets through to him, and they're going to have to change his mentality of being a tough guy. His images of a tough guy. Well, tough guy is not going to help me from the bench. And his image has got to, he just has to understand. And John Harbaugh is going to have to get through to him. And that's something that's probably not going to happen overnight. But he likes to take on defenders instead of running out of bounds. And you know this, Ryan. You just can't do that.
Yeah, no.
Can't do it.
Yeah. And he's
Can't do
already
it.
had, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 concussions? Jackson
I believe
Dart?
so. Yeah, I believe so. 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. After a disastrous start to the game in Cleveland, the Kings have actually come back and taken the lead. They are 5 minutes in to the quarter. The Cavaliers, who were making threes like they were going out of style in the first 6 minutes, can't make a three to save their lives right now. And it's really allowed the Kings to get back into the game as they lead 50-49. Again, we'll have more on this on the post show over on YouTube and X. That is coming on right after game 1 of this 6-game road trip between Sacramento and Cleveland. Big storyline of this game, Sabonis for the 4th game in a row, did not start for the Kings in this game, has come off the bench and played very, very well. He's been part of the reason why the Kings were able to come back from a 16-2 deficit and take the lead in quarter number 2. Stop 1 of a 6-game roadie for the Kings. Detroit, followed by the Knicks, then the Philly, Boston, and then they wrap it up against the Washington Wizards a week from Sunday. All right, if you want to get in on the show, you can do so. Don't forget, we will have our picks coming up here in just a little bit. 2 games to choose. Who do you like? Which way are you going? You going Denver with Jared Stidham at quarterback? Or do you like Mike Vrabel, Drake May, and the New England Patriots? Are they going to go from a 4-win season to the Super Bowl? And what about Denver? Is their defense going to be better than it was last week against the Buffalo Bills? And what will it look like offensively without Bo Nix and Stidham taking his first snaps of the year? Then in the NFC, what will the turnover margin be? Will the Seattle Seahawks take care of the ball? Will it be Matthew Stafford who pushes the Rams through and to the Super Bowl, which will be 2 weeks from Sunday in Santa Clara? And then the following day, we will all wake up depressed because we have no football until the end of August and no pro football until after Labor Day weekend. We are approaching, Rhino, one of the best times of the year, and then quickly we fall off the cliff to one of the worst times of the year.
And you get to dip a toe in the water after this week because you get a week off without football. It's the build-up to the Super Bowl.
Yes, to dip the toe in the water. I haven't really thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like that test. It's the test drive of life without football.
Mm. Yes. Circle back to yesterday's show. Who was more toxic, Weber or Cousins? That's not even close. It was clearly Cousins by miles. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. All right, don't forget the show coming up on YouTube and X, the NBA, and we talk about the busy Friday night in the association and the scores around the NBA. You look at the Pistons, who the Kings will play next, are at home. They are tied with the Rockets at 52. The Hawks, they lead the Suns 54-49. 3 minutes left to go in the first half. The Nets, after getting embarrassed and scoring only 66 2 days ago at the Garden, they are leading the Celtics 47-39. There's just like no rhyme or reason in the NBA, right? You score 66 points in 4 quarters, and here you are with 4 minutes left to go in one half, and you already have 47 against a really good Boston Celtics team.
How's
Incredible.
the saying go? It's a make or miss league.
Yes, 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 it is. The Pelicans are in Memphis. They lead 21-20 in the first. The Pacers off to a quick start, up 10 at OKC. Now it's 27-19. Nuggets, Bucks, Raptors, Blazers coming up a little bit later. Yeah. How about that? You go 66, right, in one game, and here you are, right, after being humiliated, after being embarrassed, playing the Boston Celtics, and with 4 minutes left to go, you lead 48-39. Go figure, Ryan.
Insane.
Right? Absolutely. Insane is right. Good game going on in Cleveland. As we said, it is tied at 52. We'll see how the Kings fare here coming up in the latter part of this first half, and then, of course, the second half. So on Monday, we will break down the championship game. Sean Salisbury will join us next Tuesday. Thursday, Chris Landry. We'll have some other guests lined up as well. We'll be talking a lot about this 6-game road trip for Sacramento. And we'll talk about what are we going to occupy our time with here once we get through this weekend. There's only one football game left. I'm just curious, what do you gravitate to with the Kings being so bad here in Sacramento and Northern California? Do you start watching a little more golf? Is there college basketball that all of a sudden you now turn to as we get towards March? Like, where does your sports interest go to? Like, what do you deal with? Are you going to get ready for the NBA draft, Rhino, or the NFL draft? I mean, seriously, what do you do as a sports
you know what?
fan?
It's going to turn to college basketball because the Kings should be picking high in the draft. There's going to be a lot of eyes on college basketball from Kings
So
fans.
you think that's where the attention is going to shift from a Kings fan's perspective?
Yeah, the time that occupies football, sure. If Darren Peterson at Kansas is playing on national TV, and it's not too long once the football season wraps up that you're getting ready for March Madness. So, yeah, I think it shifts
You think
there.
he's the number one pick in the draft?
I do.
By head and shoulders or a whisker?
It's a great question. For me, right now, looking at everybody else, looking at the Kings' needs, it's head and shoulders. But to everybody else, it's more than a whisker.
Okay.
But you've got the Duke guys, you got Boozer. But I think, have you watched Darren Peterson play?
A little bit, not too much.
He's explosive.
Yeah, no, he is.
He's special.
Yeah.
Speaking of special, Domantas Sabonis' stat line tonight, 5 of 7, 101 beyond the arc, perfect from the free throw line, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 14 points, Grant.
Not good enough to start, though. Not good enough to start.
Not good enough to start. No.
Right. Not good enough to start. So, yeah, absolutely. The Cavaliers, by the way, are leading 55 to 54. But yes, Sabonis having a really good game. Not that I'm surprised. He's a really, really good player. I think he's the best player on the team. It's debatable because of DeRozan's play, but I think that Sabonis is the best player on the Sacramento Kings, and I think he will not be on the Kings after this road trip. I think he'll be gone.
What's Jerry Reynolds always say?
He thinks Domantas Sabonis is the best center in Kings history.
Yeah, but what's the key to winning?
You got to have your best players
Yeah.
on the floor if you want to win. The key to winning and having a really good chance to win, and maybe Doug Christie needs to hear this. You know, I've always thought it's Sports 101 that if you want to win, you need to put your best players on the field or on the court. Doug, I've got a message for you. If you want to win, okay, you need to have your best players on the floor. You know who else is playing very good in this first half? A guy by the name of Malik Monk.
Yes,
That's
he is.
the same guy. That's the same guy that Doug felt wasn't good enough to play, that had several DMPs, was made an example out of, then had his minutes sometimes playing just a couple of minutes. Now all of a sudden, he's back playing. And oh, yeah, by the way, what happens? The Kings, during their 4-game win streak, Malik Monk was a big part of that. You look at the Kings down 16-2 tonight without Sabonis, who is your best player, starting because you want to humiliate him for whatever reason. He comes into the game, and before you know it, you're leading, and Sabonis is the driving force in doing just that.
You know what?
Again, the dysfunctional, make no sense Sacramento Kings.
I was just going to say, I think I've made sense of it. Hart is not a pillar. It's not part of the 6 principles. Hart is not one of them, and unarguably, Domantas Sabonis was the heart of the starting unit up until this season, and Malik Monk was the heart of the second unit. It all makes sense now.
It's called dysfunctional with a capital D. That's what the Kings should be called, the Sacramento Dysfunctionals. They ought to change their name from the Sacramento Kings to the Sacramento Dysfunctionals. Seriously.
If you do that, you got to bring back the gold uniforms.
All right, yeah, bring back the gold uniform. I agree with you. The Sacramento Dysfunctionals in their gold uniforms. Not only that, let's have the gold tops and the baby blue shorts. Let's just go all out here.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I'm with you.
Yes.
Little remix.
Yes. Right?
You know, that's
the
cool.
baby blue shorts from the 80s and the gold tops with the name across the front, Dysfunctionals.
You know what? That works because you see players all the time wearing what looks like 2 different shoes. Totally on trend, on brand.
Yeah. Let's do it, Rhino. Let's do it. Let's absolutely make it happen. Okay.
So is the Dysfunctionals going to be in cursive?
I haven't really gone that far. I haven't gone that deep with my analysis on whether it would be. I'd have to look at the print style and see what would be the best way to go about that. What do you think?
It feels like cursive. Dysfunctional.
Cursive? Okay.
It flows well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It does flow well. Yes. So let's see if I can have that. Listen, if they can do that in LA with the Laker fans, why can't we maybe change the name of the team around?
Yeah, why not? I'm with it.
Hey, folks, if you've been waiting to buy a home, then you got to be prepared to act soon for what's about to happen in the real estate market. I'm talking about the expected Fed rate cuts, and that is going to renew the housing market. And I'm just telling you, you know what? Buyers will flood the market, and bidding wars are going to happen. Homes will sell quickly, and you need to get in line. You got to get your ducks in a row here. And here we are, new month, 2026. You know what? The best way to start, you have to have an experienced broker to represent you. And that's why I love talking about Spencer at Village Financial Group, broker owner of Village Financial Group. Spencer's white glove service, boutique experience. It's a one-stop shop method, folks, and it makes it so easy. Now, here's the key. Spencer's going to navigate you through the process from start to finish. And understand he has extensive home listings to choose from throughout Northern California. He's very experienced with 30 years of mortgage brokering experience. He's going to get you the best rates. He also has access to private money, which will help expedite getting your offer accepted and closed. So text or call Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. It makes sense to call Spence. Again, 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Our picks coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrude's does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrude's, expert, 5-star service, and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrudes.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
At Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, just as our name says, we're in the business of home comfort. So if the heater goes out and the house is suddenly uncomfortable, we got your back. Sierra Pacific's friendly heating and air technicians are always ready to come to the rescue when you need it the most. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, trusted heating, air, solar, and electric experts. Visit today at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air, the guys in the big red trucks.
Decisions determine results. So which path do I want to take? Help people in need or stand on the sidelines watching? Worry about how to pay for school or have my education paid for? Push myself and learn new skills or stay the same? My decision is to serve part-time with the Army National Guard, and my results will be life-changing. What will you decide? Go to NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters.
Do you need new tires? Have you been putting it off? Don't wait any longer. Get the best in tires today and save. Get to Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. For the best selection of Bridgestone and Firestone tires, all on sale and on-site ready for your car or truck, get to Expert Tires and Brakes to save big on sets of Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. Expert Tires and Brakes, the best place for tires and brakes.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Championship weekend. New England at Denver. The LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go in order. Let's start with the New England-Denver game. The Patriots are favored by 4.5 points. So, Ryan, I'll lead us off, if you don't mind, on this Friday. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos. I think this is going to be a close game. They're getting 4.5 points. I know that Bo Nix is not quarterback, but I think the Broncos are going to be just fine with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. I really do. And I like this spread. You're giving the Broncos 4.5 at home. I'm jumping all over that. I'm taking the Denver Broncos plus the 4.5 over the New England Patriots.
Grant, when Denver plays, especially at home, it feels like a gritty matchup. These are both very, very good defenses. I think 4.5 points is crazy. How can you not take 4.5 points? However, I still think the Patriots win. Patriots win. But Denver is going to keep this thing close. I think it'll be a field goal at most. Turnover will make a difference in this one. Stidham will be fine, as you said. I'm going with the Broncos and the points.
All right. So we are both on that. Go ahead, Mr. Seahawk. Your team, minus 2.5 at home in the two meetings that they had during the regular Seattle winning at the end of the season in overtime in a thrilling 1-point win. Turnovers, 7 turnovers in the two games by Seattle, only 1 for the Rams. Which way? I know which way you're going, but break down this game for me.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is the Super Bowl. Whoever wins this game will win the Super Bowl. I think Seattle is going to be able to run the ball against the Rams. Now, can Seattle's defense contain Matthew Stafford? We will see. What I do know is they can get to the quarterback if the D-line is able to make a little bit of a rush. And granted, look at the Bears. They got a decent rush at times on Stafford. There's no reason to believe the Seahawks can't do the same. I truly believe they're going to be able to run the ball. It's going to come down to, because you look at the total scoring between those two games, only 1 point difference, yet the turnovers, crazy. Seattle's going to win this game. I'm taking Seattle minus 2.5. Matthew Stafford will have the ball in his hand to end the game. They will have a chance to win this. Seattle wins and covers.
In the two games that were played this year, 21-19 Rams. The game that was played in Seattle, 38-37 Seahawks. Two games decided by a total of 3 points. The Rams are getting 2.5 points. That, to me, is a very attractive number based on the two games that have already been played, based on this being a divisional game. I don't see a lot of separation in this game, so I'm going to go with the Rams plus 2.5. I don't know if they win the game, although I think they will, but I like the 2.5 points just based on their two previous meetings, Rhino. So I'm going the other way on this.
All right.
I like the points. I think this is going to be a very tight game. Why would it be any different than the previous two games that went down to the last play? I think the same thing will be very likely here in this game.
I think special teams in this game is going to make all the difference in the world. We know the Rams, they fired their special teams coach during the regular season. Seattle, they ran a touchdown back, the opening kickoff back last week. Seattle, they have good special teams. Seattle's going to win, but I respect the 2.5 points, and I get why you're taking them.
Well, I'm looking at the two games that were played. I'm looking at there's not a big separation between these two teams. I mean, they're both they're so good. I mean, the regular season proved that they're so good. And we saw Seattle dismantle San Francisco last week. They just took them apart.
Yeah.
But I thought the Niners were ready to be taken apart. I don't see that happening this week with the Rams. The Rams are too good. They're not going to get blown out in this. This is, I think, with 5 minutes left, Ryan, this game's going to be up for grabs.
And I think, too, both teams are coming in with equal confidence. The Rams going in that environment, also the conditions, everything against them in that sense. That was a huge win for them. In Seattle, as you said, riding off of dismantling their rival, the Niners, blowing them out. Rested. These are two great football teams. I can't wait to see what happens. And yes, I have to. I would never go against the Hawks in this situation, but I especially do not want to have the locks changed on any houses that I frequent within my family. So,
oh boy,
Hawks.
Yeah, I get you. I love that music. Oh,
I know.
It's just great theme music, isn't it?
We could just lay out.
Oh, yeah. Take us up to 6 o'clock. God, it's just awesome. Awesome.
You know, when you hear that music right around mid-July, you start to get goosebumps because it's starting to come back. And even though it's the Hall of Fame game, it's football. Like, we're all over it.
I love it. It is fabulous. But it's not going to be fabulous 2 weeks from Monday when we wake up depressed because there's no football, and you wake up on a Sunday, like that will be the case next Sunday. You wake up next Sunday and you're like, what am I going to do? I got nothing to do. I mean, the second weekend in September, you wake up on a Sunday, right? Whatever time you wake up, and at 10 a.m., the first game comes on, and your wife goes, I guess I won't see you until February. I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, pretty much, pretty much. And then you are in your TV room at 10 a.m. Then the 1 p.m. games start. Then you got your Sunday night game. And yeah, that's your life.
Okay, so you've done it both ways. You've done it on the East Coast and the West Coast. Do you prefer the 10 a.m. or the 1 p.m. kickoff?
Oh, I love the West Coast times, especially on the night games. Being on the East Coast, when the games used to start at 9 o'clock, Monday Night Football, that was hard. And it was very, very difficult to go to the games. Think about that. You're going to a game that started at 9 o'clock. Think about that for a minute. 9 o'clock kickoff. Now it's at 20 on Monday Night Football. But it used to be 9 o'clock. No, it's brutal. If you have to get up early, if you work, you go to school, or if you're going to the game, no, I definitely prefer the clock here on the West Coast. Much better than on the East Coast for watching football. Much better. And all sports in general, pretty much.
Very interesting. You know, the day of the Super Bowl is kind of a long day because there's no other football on, but it's like a 5-hour pregame?
Yeah. I don't watch that. Do you watch the pregame?
I mean, I have it on in the background. I'm not sitting there at full attention.
Well, not anymore. It's just too much nonsense. It's too much wokeness, too much political correctness, all the nonsense they do. It's too much for me. I now will turn the game on like 5 minutes before kickoff for the Super Bowl.
You don't strike me as Super Bowl party kind of guy.
I'm not. Now, I have been to Super Bowl parties before, but no. It's interesting you say that. I do not enjoy watching. Now, being at the game is different. I'm not talking about being in the stadium or the arena. I do not enjoy watching games with other people at sports bars or at parties. It's too distracting for me. It's too much nonsense for me. And when I mean nonsense, I don't mean it in a mean way, but if you're at a party, you're there, you're talking to other people, and I'm not concentrating on watching the game, which I really want to do. And here's the other aspect, need to do, because it's my job, because I got to talk about it for, the coming days. So I look at the games differently than maybe somebody else, because I need to know what's going on. I need to hear what the announcers are saying. If there is a critical play or call on the game, I need to hear the understanding from either a Mike Pereira or somebody else. Like, that's all part of what I'm doing when I'm watching a game, because I'm also working.
Do you know how amazing it is to grab the remote and say, honey, I need to work right now?
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yes. I always had a nice excuse. And that is, that's my job. Right.
See, I'm in the can't talk right now, honeymoon phase of having that, where it's like, I gotta watch this.
My wife not one time ever asked me why I was still going to watch the game. Ask me, like, why am I not one time, not even one time. Like, well, we have year a week. No, not one time. Okay. Now, in all fairness, there were times ahead she would go, hey, can we go to this? I've been invited to this party. Are we able to go? I know there's a game. It would be phrased that way, but not one time was it ever, hey, you're watching too much, or we got to do this, or you got to do that. Not one time. Now, I would also say with the advent of technology, you could then be somewhere and watch the game on their phone. So that was a big plus.
Yeah, that's
right?
a different experience, though. That's a little bit. I mean, you got to throw the headphones in if you're going to be on the go.
My wife would prepare food, and she would go, here's your food. Have a great day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
Star, you
So-
should do some training classes.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
No, in all seriousness, with the Super Bowl, who were the ones that you attended? Who were your halftime performances?
Madonna
Oh,
on the first one, and quite frankly, I don't right now remember the second one.
Madonna. It's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, at the Rose Bowl. It's amazing. We were all part of it from the fans. They had the little, like on your seat, you got a seat cushion,
Mm-hmm.
and with instructions, and it was fun. You know what? There's nothing like being at the Super Bowl when the team that you love is in the Super Bowl. It's the best. There's nothing like it. When you are at the Super Bowl, and the first time I went by myself, and then the second time I took my boys, and there's really nothing like sharing that experience, and you see the joy. And we played Chase's spiel from his show earlier this week about the Giants and John Harbaugh. You know where that comes from. I mean, that's how we grew up. So when you're at an event like that, and it was a great game, and the Giants won, and they experienced that, they, in all likelihood, will never be at a Super Bowl ever again.
It's
very hard to go to the Super Bowl because it's ridiculously expensive.
It's the biggest question I've gotten over the last couple weeks is, are you going to go to the Super Bowl if Seattle makes it? Because it's right here in our backyard.
Well, it's not a matter of being right in your backyard. You have to have a ticket to get in, and the tickets are thousands of dollars now.
100%, but travel and hotel can be thousands of dollars around Super Bowl time.
Yep, it can be. Yes, it can. Fortunately, I didn't need a hotel in Indianapolis because we didn't arrive until the morning of the game. And then after the game, we drove to Chicago because we all had early morning flights the next day. And we got there at like 2:30 in the morning and slept for like 3 hours at some airport dive hotel at Midway Airport.
See, you're playing with fire. What if one of these storms rolled through?
Well, listen, I was playing with fire. We were the last 3 people to board the flight in San Francisco with a stopover in Dallas because I had to announce a game in Sacramento, and there were no red-eye flights out of Sacramento that could get me to Indianapolis. So I had to drive to San Francisco, which I had already worked it out with my intern to drive my car back. Yes, I paid him. I compensated him. But then I ended up freaking out because the game went to overtime. All right. And it was the Warriors, and the game was packed and sold out. And because it was overtime, nobody left early. And then as soon as the game's over, I got to do the post-game show. And then, I'm running to the car like Usain Bolt, all right, in the 100 at the Olympics. And then I'm driving like Mario Andretti, getting out of the parking lot at Arco and trying to get onto I-5. And then, listen, it was a very stressful period of time in my life. Like you cannot believe, running through the airport, hopefully to get through security quickly, running to the gate, and they still had the door open. And I am not exaggerating. They closed the door after we got on the plane.
It's meant to be. When
It
it's
was
meant to be.
Yes. Giants did win too, by the way. So, yeah, it was all great. Hey, speaking of great, I don't know if you think our post-game show is great, but I do. Ryan does. I know Jerry does, and we hope you can join us. That is after the game. It's the Kings leading at the break 71-68 over Cleveland. Really appreciate all of you for your support. It's been a fun week. Love it. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy the games on Sunday. I hope they go your way. I hope they're close. I hope they're entertaining. We'll be back on Monday at 3 o'clock. We'll break it all down. For Rhino in Sacktown, This is Grant Napear saying thank you so much for listening to the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye now.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.